All right, everybody. Welcome. It is the 2026 Vermont Association of Credit Unions Enlighten 2026 conference. I am your host, Jonathan Taylor, JT, with CU Spotlight. To my right is my co-host,
Philip Sin.
Phil, the man, the myth, the legend. Appreciate you guys coming and sticking around with us here. It's the first podcast, as you can probably tell with my intro. Shout out to Bank Social for the sponsorship. And my goodness, we are in the Green Mountains here at the Killington Resort. It is a beautiful day, and we have with us a beautiful lady who has been in this space for, I'm not going to say a ton of years.
Over 30. Let's just leave it at that.
But you were one of the keynote speakers today at the inaugural Global Women's Leadership Network meeting here in Vermont, which was really, really exciting to get that going. And we have Barb Lowman with CSS here, CUNA Strategic Services in the Hizzy. Barb, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And first time on the pod.
It is.
You've been an elusive fig out there.
You caught me, JT.
Finally
caught
got
me,
you
brother.
on this thing. First off, well done.
Thank you.
You. I'm not going to say I cried, but it was really dry in the room or something for a slight minute when you're
I love it.
going through your thing. But amazing job today. Let's start there. Let's talk about your work in Global Women's and what you were talking about today.
Sure. Today marked an inaugural meeting of the New England Sister Society. There you go.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's an amazing
I love
thing.
it.
We love new chapters.
Connecticut and CCUA have worked together to build out the Sister Society in New England, and now Carrie Allen, who's the new league president in Vermont, has brought Vermont's credit unions on board to partner with them as well. So they're expanding their footprint in New England, and they had a great turnout this morning for the inaugural event. It was wonderful, and the room was amazing. I was able to share my top 10 lessons for leadership in life. And basically in that session, I draw on experiences in my life and how they've shaped me as a leader, and then just share with the group. And hopefully they take a nugget or two away that help increase or expand or improve their leadership journey.
Well, you did a great job, and I loved how you led into it for the room. It's like anybody who speaks, they've heard that, know your audience, right? Mm-hmm. And I loved how you started that one slide with, here's where I started, right?
Yep.
And then it popped up, teller. And you're like, so I was a teller, which you looked around the room and everybody was like, oh, okay, that's where I started, or that's where I'm at right now.
Exactly.
And then you went through that journey of all of the different roles and positions. And the thing that I took from that, and we just talked about it off mic, was you have to be open. You've got to be daring enough to say yes to something that you have no clue how to do.
That's right.
Number two, you also have to follow your gut and not say yes to things that you know just are not a good fit for you.
That's right.
Those are tough to sort sometimes.
Well, and I think equally as important, you have to know when it's time to tap out.
Sure.
And say that when it's not the right culture for you, because everybody's not everybody else's cup of tea,
Sure.
right? But when it's not the right fit and it's not culturally amenable, it's just as important to know when it's time to go as how to build that and how long to stay.
It's such an important lesson. And then, of course, the one that got me, being the girl dad, which was, family first, right?
Yeah.
Be there for your kids, because you're going to miss a lot of those moments.
That is every team I've ever led, my foundational principle for the team has been your family comes first no matter what.
Yeah.
There's a lot of important work that we're doing, but those of us that have been blessed in this lifetime with children and or grandchildren, in my belief system, there's nothing more important than the job that we do raising those kiddos and developing. Hey, here professionally, we're developing the next generation of leaders. We're equally as responsible to develop the next generation of humans in the right way.
It's huge.
So important.
Let's pivot now.
Okay.
you had mentioned to me right before this how excited you are to be working with the Association of Vermont Credit Unions with your work at CSS. Talk a little bit about that.
So at CSS over the last couple of years, we've reinvented our model. For a long time, I came on board in a leadership role in 2020 during the middle of COVID.
Perfect timing.
Onboarding, the first remote employee to onboard
Hey, I
in,
did
the,
that
in the
too.
middle of COVID.
I did that
it was
too with
it was
architecture,
fun.
yeah.
We can have a couple beers and
Yeah, we
compare
will.
notes.
2 tree.
We have completely changed our operating model, and we're focused now. Jim Nussel made a comment to me, or gave me some advice, I guess I should say, 2 years ago, and said, listen, you're trying to be all things to all leads, and that's never going to work. You need to meet them where they are, find out what their needs are, and then build a model going forward that helps them in the ways that they need help. So that's actually what we're doing. We've launched a pilot. Last week, there was a press release that dropped, a joint press release between CSS and the Association of Vermont Credit Unions. We're partnering with Carrie to help augment her resources. For those that aren't familiar with CSS, what we do at CSS, we listen to credit unions, understand what their major challenges are that they face and what their members face.
Yeah.
And then we go out there and we find the right fintech to solve those problems, and we bring them to market by distributing through the league system in large part, and then with our direct go-to-market efforts. So some of the leagues, like the Association of Vermont Credit Unions, don't have expansive staff, right?
Sure.
So it's very difficult for them to engage with their member credit unions around technology. But it's so important for Carrie to be able to engage with her credit unions around fintech opportunities and how the league can support their drive to solve their challenges and to embrace new and emerging and existing fintech as well. So Kristen Brechko, who's a member of the CSS team, is working hand in hand with Carrie, and she'll be spending time here in Vermont. We'll do some regional road shows. We'll do some focus groups.
Cool.
We'll visit some credit unions. We'll have some providers come with us. There'll be some experiential learning opportunities around how automation can make a difference. One of our providers is Amazon Business, and they've been a great partner for us. They've agreed wherever there's an Amazon distribution center, they would love to host some credit unions to come walk through the distribution center so they can see how imperative new technology and AI is in their distribution model. So how cool is that through that relationship, we'll be able to bring credit unions to an Amazon distribution center, right?
I want to go.
It's freaking cool.
Now, are they going to give you extra points if you only go pee for 4 minutes instead of 5 when you go, like in part of the tour?
I don't think it works like
No, that is really, really cool. Well, and most importantly, I love the fact that, I've said for years that my personal mission in the credit union space is to save credit unions that need it.
Amen.
And to save leagues
Amen.
that need it.
Yep.
Because we're losing both.
Yeah.
And that's not to besmirch any of the leagues that have merged in with other leagues, but I think just like a lot of credit union mergers that are happening out there, they're not happening out of a complete how do I word that? They haven't tried everything before the merge, I think, because they don't realize that there are friends in the space that have the ability to help.
Over the last, I would say, year and a half, 2 years, we've done a ton of work placing fractional executive resources at credit unions.
Yeah.
So we've partnered with a firm that can help us do that. We're now looking at fractional IT remediation resources. So if you have an examination or you have a pen test and there's all this follow-up stuff, we're really doubling down on how credit unions can leverage fractional resources to help move them forward without having to invest in FTEs to do the work. Because you think about it also, in an executive presence, some credit unions can't afford to go hire the couple $100,000 CIO that can really drive the type of technology transformation that they want.
Sure.
But they probably don't need one for 40 hours a week for 52 weeks a year. So why not consume a fraction of that resource that other credit unions will help pay for? Well, I started thinking about it, JT, and I'm like, why wouldn't this apply to the leagues as well? So all leagues don't have to go hire a sales team. All leagues don't have to go hire someone to vet new fintech. All leagues don't have to go hire those resources to engage with their member credit unions around fintech and different products and different solutions that can help them grow and optimize operational efficiencies, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we started to test it, and we started to say, hey, let's give this a try. Vermont is the first area that we're focused on. This is a pilot.
Yay.
I love Carrie. Carrie and I connected, and
best.
Carrie's like, I get it. This is a great idea. I want to try it. I want to be first. So it's amazing to us. For Vermont's credit unions, it doesn't cost them anything.
Right.
Like, this is part of being a member of the Association of Vermont Credit Unions. So why wouldn't you double down and lean in, right?
Yeah.
It's just an awesome opportunity across the board.
Well, and I also love, if I can just brag on CSS for a minute, I really love, there's a lot of buzz, there's a lot of activity around partnering with fintech, investing in fintech in the space. Everybody's got their model. There are definite tremendous positives in every single model. But I really love the fact that for you guys, it's not about the exit so much. It's about the long-term, like the forever partnership, and continuing to keep that going for our credit unions for the long term. And again, nothing against, but you and I have had this talk, and it's like, but if we can exit from within, if we can keep it here, because we built it, it's ours, in a lot of ways. I love that about you guys.
We start with what is the problem that needs to be solved for credit unions. And we don't claim to be able to boil the ocean and solve every single problem. We leverage our network to prioritize and to understand where can we make the biggest positive impact. And that's when we go after that area. So our activity is driven in large part by credit unions and by the leagues.
Sure.
So why not double down with that league engagement? It just makes a heck of a lot of sense.
It does.
So I love that. I love the fact that you're all about listening to what the need is instead of just looking from the outside. You're taking the time to get in there. So the inspiration for that, where does that come from?
Years and years and years, and all the different roles you saw me talk about.
Pain.
So I can honestly say this because you'll appreciate this. So I talked this morning about how I was the CIO of a credit union for a number of years,
You didn't even know what a CIO was when they asked you to do it.
I might have a little bit, but how to do the job I learned along the way.
Right.
I used to hate it when my CEO went to a conference because he would come back and he would plop a contract on my desk. And I would look up, I'd go, oh, what in the world did you get us into now? And he'd be like, oh, she was so pretty at the cocktail reception. And I'm like, oh, God, what am I? And I'm like, this doesn't integrate with our core.
And it was
this. Yes. It was like, now I have to figure out how to make this work because you've signed a contract, right? So that, from personal experience of start with the problem that you're solving, because none of us have unlimited budgets. We all know that, right?
Right.
So what do our members need? What do our teams need? What do our communities need? And then how can we marry up the right solution? Mike Lawson once called me a matchmaker. Like we find the right credit union, the right solution, put them together and match them up, and then they go on and prosper. And that's what it's about. It's about understanding the needs and individualizing that plan and that discussion, not just saying, hey, one of my team members does a great job. We give exclusivity to our providers too, because we don't want to be inauthentic.
Sure.
If you haven't learned anything else about me, it's that I do now live my life as my true authentic self.
Sure. Picking that up.
That's awesome.
So literally, one of my team members, Jenny Jackson, you know her, has a great way.
Shout
She's
out
like,
to
I don't
Jenny.
want to show up and open my code and say, we've got a great solution here for this, but if you don't like that, hey, here's another one on this side, right? It's about who can solve the problem in the best, most cost-effective way or deliver something special that they can't get anywhere else. And that's how we choose we're very selective in who we'll work with and how. And we're super focused on solutions that can help small credit unions, especially because we're not naive enough to think that we can slow down or stop the rate of mergers and consolidation in our market. But hey, if we can put the right solutions in the right hands of the right credit unions at the right time, we might be able to slow it down, and we might be able to save one or
Right.
two here or there that can use that to springboard off into a healthier environment.
Or they can springboard from being a small credit union to now grow.
That's right, Phil.
And becoming a
That's right.
thriving institution in their community
That's
for their
exactly
members.
right. Making a difference in the lives of members and their communities that's our why, and we ground ourselves in our why every single day.
So real quick, just kind of going on with that thought process of what you guys do. You're here in Vermont. You're fully invested in this association and these credit unions. Why should other vendors and companies come here to this conference starting next year to make a difference here?
So my philosophy, and we've spent some time visiting with our friends at the Hawaii Credit Union League, because that's a great example. It's not that easy to travel to Killington. We were talking about that earlier, right? But in some cases, it's planes, trains, and automobiles, depending on what part of the country you're traveling from. It's also very difficult to travel to Hawaii if you're going to Hawaii. But this conversation I had with the Hawaii Credit Union League carries through. If you want to do business with credit unions in a region, you need to get your butt there, and you need to meet the people. You need to make the human connections. You need to understand what their challenges are, and you need to not just be a name. There needs to be a person and a connection on the other end of that.
100%.
So that's why I would challenge anybody that wants to do business and grow their footprint with Vermont's credit unions. How can you not be here next year? How can you not engage and meet people and talk about how you can help them solve those problems?
So the fintechs and the CUSOs need to do the same thing that the credit unions are doing,
Yes.
and get on the streets and meet the people that need to become members.
Exactly.
And the other thing that I'll say, because I came to this conference for many, many years, and it's been a hot minute since I've been here, so I was so excited to be back in the VT, because coming from the Maine Credit Union League Insurance Trust and our friends, our neighbors, Tricor, shout out to them, we're like, credit unions in other states need you guys, especially the smaller ones. They're being forgotten. Come with us to Vermont. And we started coming. And then from there, we got endorsed. And then and so for years and years, and I always said, this is one of those Goldilocks conferences. Not too big, not too small, just right. And everybody's talking to everybody. And even if you're at a booth, I would have CEOs walk up and go, you guys spent some money to be here. Tell me what you do. And I'm like, thank you.
That's right.
Wow, they're not just like shopping for, trick-or-treating and no eye contact. And it's like, these folks are open. They know they need support. They know that they're isolated in a way. And so coming here and telling your story and helping is really, really important. And I also love, shout out to the Maine League, shout out to the CCUA, shout out to Connecticut. Every one of these leagues is now going, we don't have to merge.
That's right.
We can all work
together.
together. You've got these baseball cards. We can all swap, and we can all still remain independent and hyper-focused in our area while also supporting each other.
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about, guys. And maybe I'm a little partial because I'm a New England guy, but I'm really, really proud of where things are at here. And I think it's great. So thank you for supporting it.
Of course.
And giving them some more baseball cards, because they need those like desperately. So I think it's wonderful. If folks wanted to learn more about everything you guys are doing and the work you're doing with this league, maybe there's other leagues listening, where would they go?
CUNA Strategic Services.com, or they can reach out to me directly through email, barb.lowman, barb.lowman at CUNAStrategicServices.com.
Well, thank you for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully, this is the first of many. You're a blast to be around, as always.
I'll catch you at Venture Tech later.
Yeah, let's
this year.
go. Have us back. That's where this whole thing started for me. So thank you for being on. Listeners, share this out with somebody that needs to hear it. This podcast is brought to you by CU Spotlight, and the reason why we called it that is because we need to shine a light. We all suffer from a crisis of awareness in this space. So let's share it out. Let's put a light on this wonderful story, and we will see you guys next time. Once again, shout out to Bank Social. That's banksocial.io for the sponsorship. My man Phil Sen.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on here. Shout out to Shirley Sen. CU Spotlight, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Thank you, fellas.